Hurry up with those clothes, you lazy girl. Don't stop until they're spotless.
Loveth was just 18 years old, a very beautiful, respectful, and a calm girl. She was an orphan from a once rich home, but sadly she never tasted the comfort of that world. Her father died before she was born, and when she was barely 1 year old, her mother abandoned her. Loveth grew up without motherly care, warmth, or affection. After her father's death, his family sold all his properties and gave Loveth nothing. She was taken in by her aunt, Auntie Adesua. But instead of love, Loveth met cruelty. Auntie Adesua maltreated her badly, treated her like a nobody. She sent her messages at midnight, insulted her daily, and used her as a house help. Loveth washed all her aunt's clothes, including those of the children. Because of endless house chores, she always went to school late. Many times, she went to the bed hungry. Whenever hunger became unbearable, Loveth would quietly go to a kind neighbor's house, Mama Onyebuchi. Mama Onyebuchi was a gentle, wealthy businesswoman. She traveled abroad often, stayed away from trouble, and was known for her kindness. Her husband lived abroad and her two sons were studying medicine and law overseas. Because of her business, she stayed back in Nigeria. Mama Onyebuchi always felt deep pity for Loveth. Anytime Auntie Adesua flogged or maltreated her, Mama Onyebuchi's heart broke. She admired Loveth's beauty, humility, hard work, and calm spirit. Many times she would say to herself, "If only this girl could be my daughter-in-law." She accommodated Loveth whenever things became too much at her aunt's house. She gave her food, motherly advice, and sometimes money for upkeep, always telling her, "Use this to eat whenever you are hungry." 6 years later, Loveth grew into a stunning young woman, more beautiful than ever. Despite her painful childhood, she refused to give up on life. She moved to Lagos and learned a skill, fashion designing. She was focused, disciplined, and talented. One day, on the busy streets of Lagos, a tall, handsome man driving through the city missed his way. Confused, he decided to ask for direction to number 14 St. Christopher's Road. That was how he met Loveth. She politely directed him, then entered the car to show him the exact location. Along the way, they talked and laughed. Before he dropped her off, he collected her contact. His name was Onyebuchi, but he told her to call him Buchi. He asked her out on a date. On the date night, Loveth wore a beautiful dress that revealed her elegance and grace. Buchi couldn't stop staring. That night, he fell deeply in love with her. 1 year later, Loveth had completed her fashion training. She and Buchi were still happily dating. Buchi believed in her dream. He opened a big fashion house for her in Lagos Island, where rich people, celebrities, and politicians came to sew their clothes. Loveth named her brand Love's Signature. Her life had changed completely. One fateful day, Mama Onyebuchi was searching for a place to sew her clothes for a wedding. While driving through Lagos, she noticed a beautiful fashion store, Love's Signature. She decided to stop. As she entered and was about to sit down, she suddenly froze. Standing before her was Loveth, the same orphan girl who struggled to finish secondary school. Now beautiful, classy, confident, and a boss lady. Loveth saw her and couldn't control herself. She ran and hugged her tightly, tears rolling down her face. "Mama, I've missed you so much," she said. They talked for a long time. Mama Onyebuchi was overwhelmed with joy. "You have done great for yourself," she said proudly. Deep in her heart, she still wished her son would marry Loveth, not knowing they were already in love. That night, Mama Onyebuchi called her sons and reminded them that she and their father were getting older and wanted grandchildren. Buchi told her, "Mommy, I will soon bring home a beautiful woman I want to marry." At first, Mama Onyebuchi felt uneasy. She wanted him to marry Loveth. Then she smiled and thought, if Buchi doesn't marry her, Emeka will. The next day, Emeka called on video call to introduce his girlfriend. Mama Onyebuchi felt slightly sad but prayed silently. "God, please give Loveth a good husband and a loving mother-in-law." She had suffered enough. The day finally came for Buchi to bring his fiancée home. Their father, Mr. Albert, was around. The house was beautifully arranged and food was ready. Buchi walked in with a beautiful damsel, Loveth. Mr. Albert welcomed them warmly. Buchi asked, "Daddy, where is Mommy?" Just then, Mama Onyebuchi walked out and froze. It was Loveth. She screamed in joy and hugged her tightly. Buchi was shocked, then asked, "Mom, do you know her?" Mama Onyebuchi smiled through tears and said, "I have known her since she was very little." Then she asked, "Buchi, where is the fiancé you brought home?" His father pointed at Loveth. Mama Onyebuchi shouted in happiness. "My dream has finally come true," she said. There was no need for introductions. Love had already done that. They fixed a wedding date and the wedding was grand. Loveth was happy. Buchi was happy. Mama Onyebuchi was overjoyed. She treated Loveth like a biological daughter. When Loveth became pregnant, she stayed with her mother-in-law. Mama Onyebuchi never allowed her to lack motherly care. She never allowed her to work. She never allowed her to do house chores. She followed her to antenatal visits, cooked for her, massaged her, and stayed by her side. The day of delivery finally came. Loveth gave birth to two beautiful babies, twin girls. The family were happy. Buchi was happy. Mama Onyebuchi was overjoyed. She went to Omugo, caring for her daughter-in-law with love. They gossiped together, laughed together, and whenever Buchi misbehaved, Loveth reported him to her mother-in-law, who corrected him with love. Loveth, the orphan who knew pain, finally knew love. And Mama Onyebuchi became not just a mother-in-law, but the mother she never had. Thank you for listening, my friends. Kindly subscribe, comment, like, and share. See you next time.